Well, I like my usual jocular stuff. I tried to do this video a while ago, and I think I just trailed off in stupid stuff. So, but I was hoping to maybe just, if I can help anybody at all, just explain something that happened to me and kind of what had to be done. So back in about, well, I've been quite seriously ill for a long time, but I've always just dealt with it myself and tried to avoid doctors as much as I possibly do, because I just don't trust them. Don't trust the NHS. Don't trust doctors. Don't trust anybody. And I prefer to kind of find my own solutions to things. And I was doing quite a good job of keeping things at bay, but beginning of 2023, I was finding things really getting bad. The pain that I get from the illness I've got, I'm not going to go into that, but the pain was really bad and it was getting unbearable. And I could tell that my body was getting a bit tired of it, and more things were happening. It was piling up. So I thought, you know what, you can't constantly rely on yourself. You're not trained medically. I got no idea really. It was potluck. Try this, try that, change my diet, whatever. So I needed to let an actual doctor. I thought, just let a doctor take over, give them a go, because I'm run out of ideas. So I did put myself in the hands of the doctors, and one of the first things they came out with was that, well, you know, you are on your last legs. Like, there's not a lot we can do for you because we're going to chop your legs off at some point anyway. But really, I mean, how have you lasted this long? We kind of, you should be dead, like, sort of thing. So obviously that doesn't go down fantastically, but normally I'm resilient and I didn't take any notice. But you know what, I put my faith in it. I'd done myself a disservice, because what I allowed myself to do is subconsciously accept whatever they were going to tell me. I decided, I'm going to accept it, I'm going to get on with it, and I'm going to follow their advice. So being faced with that, being told all they're going to do is make me a bit more comfortable, work on the pain, well, that set off my subconscious. And I'm a great believer now. I never understood it properly before. When people said they were depressed or they upset or stressed or whatever, you think, well, come on, we all have bad times, but pull yourself together, like my dad would have said, pull yourself together, son. But this was, them really putting the nail in the coffin, as it were, and telling me I was going to go. So I believed them. And the problem you've got, what I didn't realise at the time, was that when your brain allows you to actually accept it, your conscience accepts it, you start. And my body immediately started reacting to the kind of acceptance I had that I was going to die. So first thing it went was my legs completely. I ended up in a wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair within weeks of actually allowing the doctors to have that level of input. And then once you're in a wheelchair, you sort of losing the use of your legs, and I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't sleeping. The pain was getting worse, exacerbated. I lost feeling in my legs, couldn't feel it. You could hit me legs with a brick and I wouldn't know. People had to tell me. If they tripped over me, people would tell me, oh, sorry, mate, I tripped over you. Say, did you? I didn't feel it. I mean, it was good, I suppose, it didn't hurt, but things got really bad, and kidneys started playing up. I had a palsy where my arm just stopped working for a period. And then first time I ended up going into hospital, I just went doolally and basically just had to be taken into hospital. And it turned out, I had high potassium and low sodium and all this sort of stuff. My liver was failing and my kidneys were failing and my heart was failing. I had a week in hospital, put up with that, hating every minute of it, because our hospitals in this country, whether they want you to know it or not, they're filthy dirty, honestly, right? It was disgusting. I never known anything like it. Just nobody tells you nothing. You just lie in bed waiting for them to tell you something, and you might get 5 minutes where a doctor say, oh yeah, we're going to do this today, and that's about it. They don't tell you nothing. They don't tell you what they're thinking or doing or anything. It's horrible. And I started getting depressed. I didn't know I was depressed, but I was getting depressed. But I ended up getting sepsis. I didn't know I had sepsis because they kind of didn't tell me I had sepsis. They just treated me and got rid of me out of the hospital. Goes home. 4 weeks later, back in hospital again because they gave me the wrong tablets. They gave me tablets. I had high potassium, so they gave me potassium tablets. Fucking couldn't make it up, can you? And they say they're not incompetent. So I ended up back in hospital, in a coma again. Again, liver failing, kidneys failing, all the rest of it, sepsis. Big problem. Eventually get back out of hospital, come home. 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, back in hospital again. Same thing, just worse. And I went on to the 5th time when I was in a pretty serious coma. Everybody was told I was going to, I might not make it. A couple of heart attacks while I was under, which was, at least I didn't know I was having them, I suppose. Mind you, you don't really feel it because it kind of just bang, it goes and you're knocked out. But anyway, came round on Christmas Eve in hospital. Promptly threw up all over the place because I had bloody tubes down my throat and up my nose and everything else, bloody bag and God knows what. And yeah, it was horrible. So they kept me in. They kept lying to me because I said, look, if I'm going to die, I'm going home. Because they said, oh, you're at risk. You're going to die any minute now. We got to keep it on you because you're going to die. Okay, well, let me go home then. I want to die at home. Not interested in dying elsewhere. I'll die at home, thanks. No, you've got to stay in here. And they were insistent about an MRI scan. So I did a deal with the doctor. I said, okay, well, this MRI scan, you make sure I have it. And then once I've had it, I can go home. Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to let you go home then to effectively die or whatever. We'll sort that out, no problem at all. But you've got to have the scan first. Okay, brilliant. That's what I'll do. Well, a week goes by in between Christmas and New Year. I'm stuck in hospital. It's just complete chaos. And the doctors are on strike as well, which is great fun. But no one makes an effort to do this MRI scan. Nobody bothers. So come the Friday, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm not staying here. So I forcibly left the hospital. They spent the most amount of time with me. A doctor spent about 2 hours with me that day, trying to convince me to stay there. And I said, no, get stuffed. And I'll come back for the MRI scan. I'll make sure someone brings me back in. But you organise it. I'll come back in. I'm not staying here for it. So that's what I did. I came home. And something else happened which they should have told me about that really, really upset me. And that, up until that point, my brain was addled. The mental health side of things is vastly underrated. I can't get this across to you enough. I did not know that I was depressed. If anybody had asked me, I'd have said, no, fine. But you could ask people that came to see me. I was sitting here, I'd written a book for my daughter of all wisecracks to get back at people. I'd written a book for my missus about how to change a light bulb and how to put the ironing board up and down. I switched to a dishwasher on and stuff. I'd been selling stuff. At one point, I packed myself a suitcase, but not for me. I just packed a whole suitcase full of clothes so that when I was dead, my wife could just throw the suitcase away or give it away or whatever. But I didn't know I'd done it. See, I found it about 3 months after I came home the last time. I was getting dressed and I found this, and I had to move the suitcase. I dropped something in the wardrobe and I had to move the suitcase to one side to get it. I thought, that's bloody heavy. Christ, what's wrong with that? So I pulled it out, opened it up. There's all my shirts. There are about 50 shirts in there. And there's a pair of shoes and there's a jacket, a couple of jackets, and so it's just like, I got loads of clothes, so it wouldn't, but they're just in there. I'd been preparing. I didn't even know I had done it, because I came out shouting, who the fuck do you think you are, trying to kick me out of my own house, you fucking cow? And she went, what are you on about? I said, are you fucking packing my bags for me, thinking she'd done it, she tucked me up. No, it wasn't. I packed it. So your brain just goes funny, and you don't realise you're depressed. You think you're normal. So people might tell you you're depressed. You say, no, I fucking ain't. Leave me alone. So you can't be treated because you can't accept what's gone wrong. Because until you accept it, you ain't going to change. So I was preparing to die. I was happy because all I could think of was, oh, I have no more pain. No more pain. Because it was, the pain's still bad now, but it was that much worse back then. It was terrible. I was drinking morphine like a bottle of beer sort of thing, keep the pain down at times. But when I came in from hospital, they upset me so much because they were just leaving me to die. It was clear that they were just basically just keep him comfortable till he pops it, sort of thing. That's how I felt, and nothing anybody said to me would convince me any different. But I came home and I thought, you know what? Fuck them. I ain't fucking dying on their terms. I'm doing it on my terms. So I came home and I refused to use a wheelchair. I had to crawl around on the floor for about a fortnight before I could get on my feet enough to go a few steps to get about. I was dragging myself around on the floor. Tried to work, but managed an hour maybe sitting at the desk before I was so tired I'd crash out on my laptop. I broke a laptop because I cracked my head on it because I just fell asleep out of the blue. And but I kept going but it was for me. And that's the thing, I think you've got a switch inside you that when you get mental problems like that, depression, a switch in your brain flips over to that phase. It's almost like it's locked in place, and it's finding the key to unlock it and switch it back over. That's the hard thing. That's the hardest thing I found, because around me everybody's sort of have their interpretation of what's going on with me, but it's a totally different interpretation of what I think is going on with me. They may have been right, I don't know. Time will tell, I suppose. But in fact, I don't even know what most people thought at times, But I was definitely in a bad way. And it took me a long time. I mean, it took me ages, just physically, just been able to have a shower. I mean, it used to take me 2.5 hours because I used to have to sit down in the shower on a stool and basically dip me under the water, rub it, sit back, have a break, lean forward again, rub it again. Just to wash your hair used to take ages, let alone, a bit of conditioner or something, and try and have a shave. Oh dear. I put stuck a mirror to the tiles and tried to sit in the bath, but it used to take me hours. If I went in the shower at 9 o'clock, I didn't get out till 11, 12 o'clock. Then I still don't go up and down the stairs more than once a day because it hurts to go up and down the stairs. It hurts to walk. It hurts all the time. But I train myself that I do it, and whereas at one point it was frightening me because I expected the pain, and therefore I would put off doing it because of the pain. But I trained myself to ignore the pain and just do it once. Upstairs, have a shower, come down. And in the shower, it still takes a lot longer than with a normal person. Not I've ever been normal, but it gets done half an hour or so, and I'm done, sort of thing. The water's bloody freezing, but I'm done. And now I try and work a few more hours a day than I used to. And some days I can really, get a good amount of hours in. And some days, I'm fighting tiredness after 2 or 3 hours. My life, you kind of organise your life around things. So, I can't stay awake if I work. I can't stay awake. So basically, I get from the office into the front room because I've been sleeping downstairs for the last 8 years now. Anyway, on the sofa. I haven't slept upstairs. So, I go in. I get straight on the couch. I lie on my side so I can put my legs up to try and keep the lymphatic fluid from building up. And cool. If I'm awake more than about 30 seconds a minute after my head goes on a slant, then that's it's a bonus. And you sort of work your day around there. I I don't leave the house unless I really, 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 really have to. You know, it's because it's a struggle. I can't walk properly. You know, simple as that. I just, you know, I'm sure, and I'm frightened of it as well, which is the problem. I'm still frightened of going too far because I don't want to get stuck, and I don't like asking for help. But it hurts. Everything hurts. So you know, I can, you know, I can't do anything. But I think, you know, when your mental health goes, you've got to find that trigger, and you're not going to do it for someone else really. They've got to somehow come to that conclusion. All you can do is lay the groundwork for them and try and point them in the direction, give them little nudges towards whatever the trigger could be that might allow them to make their change back, because they've got to do that inside them. You won't change them until they want to do it. It's a bit like giving up smoking or giving up alcohol. It's an illness, it's a habit, it's you are that person. It's not just an illness, it's you in that at that moment. And you've got to try and switch that back to normality, to your previous self. And you've got to want to do it. The doctors had convinced me I was going to die, so I was just accepting that I was going to die. I didn't give a shit about it. I couldn't care less. I mean, I still don't care that you know, if something happens to me, that's it. You know, God wants me, doesn't he? But I think I'm doing it on my terms. I'm not doing it because I believe some dopey doctor who at one point rang me, and he thought he was being funny, I expect, because he said to me, "Oh, you answered the phone then, I didn't expect to get you." I absolutely erupted at that. Unbelievable. But if you are suffering from anything, know that the help you need mostly is inside yourself. Someone's got to give you, and someone or something has got to trigger you inside to say, look, you yourself are still worth more than letting these things get on top of you. There are people around, even if you don't think there are people around you that give a damn what happens. You have an impact on people's lives. You have an impact on how they get on. Hopefully it's positive. But there is always a reason to fight it. You can't stop